So let's start. Hello, everyone. I'm very glad to welcome all of you on our employer brand course. And today we have class number 1. We will be talking about employer brand basics. So let's start our webinar. This is the course website, so you may visit this website and read everything about the course. And the course program consists of 8 classes. The first one is employer brand basics. Then we will be talking about employer brand target audience research, then strategic employer branding, employer brand analysis and reporting, current employer brand communication practices and social media, connecting the employee experience to the company's customers, and then future trends in employer branding, and we will finish with HR tools for employer branding. Today we will be talking about global employer branding market overview. We will be talking about key trends and lessons learned in 2024 to 2028. How will changes in the political, economical, social, technological, environmental, and legal environments affect your employer brand strategy? And finally, role and responsibilities of the employer brand leader. So let's start our class, and let me introduce myself. My name is Mike Pritula, and my first job was Sense Bank. Actually, it was Alpha Bank that now is Sense Bank, and I worked as recruiter and trainer. And being a recruiter, I was also responsible for employer brand. It was 2006, very early um, days of employer branding, just very beginning of the whole story of employer branding. What I did at Alpha Bank, I was involved in creating career sites. So it was me who created all the description and requirements for this section. I invented something. I gave insights about the career section of our website. I participated in different employment fair, career fair. I developed some even materials for these fairs because, like we didn't have designer in our HR department. I'm not sure if even in the marketing department we had a designer. Probably someone did it on the outsourcing side. So I had to develop some materials like a questionnaire for participants, information about our vacancies, prospects, about the company, and so on. I also was responsible for working with job sites and for designing our job site presence, like the company page, vacancy design, and so on. Yeah, was a lot of different activities. Then I joined STB TV channel. It's the biggest media company in Western and Eastern Europe. And I launched corporate blog. It was like a career blog for employees and candidates. And I used a blogger platform. I think it's now Google, part of Google, blogger.com or yeah, I think blogger.com. Yeah, I was publishing different articles, communicating with my target audience, also publishing something for our employees and then sending to them. So part of this communication was both inside and outside. I built an EVP for this company for STB based on understanding of our target audience. What else? We did some internal branding activities like we were designing our offices in line with our employer brand with all these colors and the gradient. We developed some merchandise for our newcomers, like newcomer package. Yeah, like this, we also organized some internal features and things to reflect our employer brand. Like we were drawing benches on the street, like we had a big territory and we had the branches or benches where people could sit. So we draw these benches with colors of our corporate brand. Then it was wargaming. I did very complicated EVP audit and I developed the total reward strategy as well as I developed a set of recommendations for our employer brand department based on my EVP audit and analyzing our competitors, analyzing my target audience, and so on. And then I worked at Preply and Ideals. Uh, I call Ideals copycat of Preply because what I did at Preply, I was asked to do at Ideals. So I needed just to replicate what I did at Preply, and I was hired for that. So for Preply, I did uh, HR department launch, some branding activities. I hired employer brand manager for the first time. We launched internal communications with our employees. I described the company culture if you are talking about employer brand. And at Ideals, I was involved again is in brand research. So we hired the company to help us to understand our target audience. So I was the person responsible for looking for this company, the research company. I was briefing them and I was accepting the result. We discovered our and we researched our target audience. We built EVP, core, and messaging, and then we started to add these key features of our new EVP into company life. Yeah, we hired employer brand manager for the company. We even hired the company to create the name and logo for our venture company, venture capital company. And I was involved in that, so I was participating in meetings with naming, generating, logo creating, so on. And then I launched my Pitula Talent Academy, and now this is my job. So based on these best practices, I create my courses. So I always try to include best practices in my courses and to show you what you need to understand and how you may rely on these researches. You need to pay attention to Randstad, one of the biggest company for employer brand research, and probably Employer Brand International and Workforce Institute could be interesting for yourself. And maybe the Great Place to Work, of course, and maybe that's so. I just recommend you to follow all these best companies and consultants just to be in line with what's happening right now. About homework, this course contains a lot of home assignments, like 8 classes, and then we have 8 home assignments. And you do need to accomplish home assignments to obtain your diploma, which is a reflection of successful accomplishment of this course. We issue this diploma on the international platform, which has a credible name, and it's very popular. So many popular company also use this platform, like Google, Slack, Harvard, Zendesk, and so on. It's like a part of international certification. So we certify your knowledge. We provide you the link. You are on this platform among other like millions of people who have their diploma there. So let's start our today's webinar. That's it for our introduction. And let's think about this. Over 3 billion people work all over the world now. So job and actually employment, one of the biggest part of our life. But the question is how they work. Some of them, they work in very bad conditions, right? Some of them, they work in very good conditions. And it's us who build those conditions and those environments they work in. So for example, Google is known for one of the most attractive offices in the world. They are so good that you may even prefer to go and work in the office, not to stay at home, because you have so many possibilities to work, right? So many places, so many offices. Then another company, Grammarly, it's one of the Ukrainian companies, and you don't need to be Google just to propose for your employees to work in such great places. And as you can see, this office is not so rich and expensive, right? Just colors, just good planning and so on. Then McPoor. Yeah, this is very well designed office. It's another Ukrainian company. But also you don't need even be in high-tech technology, in high-tech industry. You don't need to be software development company. Biosphere is Ukrainian company who produces different goods for using at home, like gloves, like sponges and others, napkins, paper napkins, and so on. And they also build this kind of, I would say, Google-like company for their employees. They do understand how it's important to build something beautiful for their employees. So, talking about these companies and talking about our course and webinar name, employer brand. What is actually employer brand? What we consider by employer brand? So, your employer brand, it's an image of your company, which could be weak, neutral, strong, also could be negative in some situations, right? With very bad reviews. So, it's the image of your organization as a great place to work, but also taking into account not just current employees or potential employees, candidates, but all key stakeholders in the external market, such as active and passive candidates, clients, customers, and other key stakeholders. Talking about employer brand, we will be connecting these activities and what it generates to the business with also customers' brand and customers as well, because it influences how customers perceive your company and perceive your brand. It also contributes to company revenue and company bottom line. Okay, so why it's important? The art and science of employer brand has to do with attraction, engagement, and retention initiatives that lead to strengthening your company's employer brand. So usually we think employer brand is just a part of employee attraction or talent acquisition. But it's not just about attraction, it's also about engagement and retention, because if you have very strong employer brand, your employees, they want to come to work. They want to wake up early in the morning and go to work to do something. Because if your employer brand is weak, they rather not be inspired going to work or working at home, but rather being like feeling themselves like servants. They just need to do something to receive their paycheck. But if you really have very good employer brand, they will be inspired and they will be so involved, so they want to work for your company. They not just need to work for your company. And also retention, because we are on the open market. Our competitors, they surround us like sharks. They want to hunt for our best employees and best talents. And if we have weak employer brand, they will be successful. But if we have very strong brand, they will find some else companies to hunt for new employees. So it also influences on retention. What is employer brand by Glassdoor? What Glassdoor says? You know, Glassdoor probably one of the most famous companies or organization in the world when it comes to employer brand, because having good reviews on Glassdoor is one of the main goal of any employer brand department or specialist. So what they say? What is employer branding? Your business probably already has a well-developed corporate brand to promote its product and services to customers. It needs an equally well-developed employer brand to promote itself to current and future employees. And Glassdoor thinks that your employer brand consists of, actually I agree with them, culture, so the values, vision, mission statement, working language, systems, and habits of your organization. Employee opinions, what your people say about your both in-person and online far beyond doors and walls of your office. Candidate opinions, first impressions formed by job seekers during their interviews and shared by word of mouth or social media, like Glassdoor, right? So they can share their opinions on Glassdoor. And corporate brand, consumer perception of your employer brand drives more business to companies who treat their employees well. Again, as you can see, it's all connected. And another information from Glassdoor, why should you invest in employer branding? In today's labor market, a positive, well-defined employer brand is important for attracting and retaining top talent, and also for engaging them. So 75% active job seekers are likely to apply to a job if the employer actively manages its employer brand. 80% Glassdoor users agree their perception of company improves after seeing an employer respond to a review. And 86% of employees or job seekers are likely to research company reviews and ratings when deciding where to apply for a job. Also, talking about employer brand, we usually think about how we compete with our competitors, but also consider this. People work in different industries. Different industries, they have different attraction for and how to say attractiveness to potential candidates because people prefer to work in different industries over the time. So you can see how it changes over the time. Most attractive sectors worldwide. ITC, IT companies. So we see that one of the most attractive. Then automotive, engineering, FMCG, life science. That's okay if your company is among these sectors, but if it's not, you need to invest in employer brand even more and heavily. Why? Because people would prefer to switch their sector to the most attractive one. So if you want to retain employee in your sector, you have to invest more. What EVP gives you? Employer value proposition. Actually, we will learn the difference between employee value proposition and employer brand, but for now, let it be equal, but just different parts of the same idea. So increased new employee commitment by 29%, increased the likelihood of employee being advocates from 24 to 47%. When candidates view an organization's EVP as attractive, demand a smaller salary bump when accepting an offer. And actually, it results in reducing the percentage of hiring raises to 50% of the cost of new hires. EVPs that are considered unattractive required an additional 21% pay raise when hiring an employee, while attracting EVP only have to pay 11% pay raise. The importance of employer branding now it's Randstad. What they say. Millennials are 2.5 times more likely than Gen Xers and baby boomers to share their opinions about employers on review sites and social media. And then some statistics like 91% of candidates seek out at least the online or offline resource to evaluate an employer's brand before applying for a job. Let's move here. 99% of employers believe managing the employer brand and reputation is important when attracting top talent. Actually, there are so many statistics that shows that employer branding is a sin. You have to pay attention to it. You can't skip it. You can't just leave it for, external circumstances to build it on their own. Yeah, you need to manage employer brand. You don't need to, and you can't leave it alone. So, top 5 reasons employees choose an employer. Also very good to understand, just to know on what you want to focus your employer brand. Salary and benefits, work-life balance, job security, work atmosphere, and financial health. Channels used to find the next job. It's again Randstad. Top 5 channels to look for a job. Job boards, social media, company career website, LinkedIn, and recruitment agencies. So these first 4, you may manage and build strong employer brand to attract more and better candidates. What is changing in the previous approach for employer branding and the current approach and future approach of employer branding? It was brand is about beautifully designed career site and pages on job sites. And it became Brand is about the value that the company as an employer bring to its employees. Then it was the main tool is design and copywriting, and it became the main tool is the employee journey map and EVP. And actually, we will learn how to work with both. It was we want to please absolutely everyone with the employer brand of the year statue. And it became we know our audience, and it's not the everyone of several thousand people and aim primarily at them. It was stand out with the cool office and in-house events strengthen the social package or benefits package, but it became working more deeply with the pains and needs or gains of the target audience, building what they really need. It's like product market fit. It's part of product management approach. It was brand is a part of recruiting or talent acquisition. The company doesn't care about it at all. And it became the brand is a tool for strategy implementation. The company is actively involved in its use. By company, we mean senior managers and top executives. It was communicating the brand through job sites and social media pages. And it became build a plan to reach the target audience, engage all types of advertising, customize targeting. It was the brand is first and foremost for the candidates, and it became the brand is for all types of employees, including temporary, remote, and even employees of our contractors, maybe even gig employees, right? It was brand is something for the marketing world. It's hard for HR to do anything on their own. So we need all these consultants, we need to involve marketing, we need to involve PR, we need to involve other experts. It became brand is a part of modern HR. They can do their own branding, picture designs, run ads, and so many other things. And there are so many tools for that. Actually, today we will learn some of them. It was a brand is a pretty picture first and foremost, and it became brand is about the numbers by which performance is measured. So it's not just about the image. Of course, image is important, and we will be talking about the image, but it's also about the numbers, like all these KPIs. So what we expect from employer brand in nowadays and upcoming years? Active and widespread adoption of AI tools in brand management. So today we will see some of them, and during this course we will coming back to them again and again. Focus primarily on hybrid work, concern for employee well-being, building employer brand advocates, customize content to target audiences, and create content by employees and help distribute it. The employer brand roadmap. This is a perfect visualization how we work with employer brand. It's developed. Actually, I'm not sure it's developed by Randstad. It's drawn by by Randstad. Sorry. Yeah. But the concept here, I think it's from marketing. So how we build the employer brand, how we manage the employer brand. We start from the audit of current employer brand story, external perception. Then we interview employees and leaders to understand their perception of your brand and gaps and areas for improvement. Actually, my approach is also to include the interview of external target audience as well. Assesses competitors for workforce. Analyze external market, career motivations and drivers, specific use of your company improvement. Create the brand pillars and employee value proposition, so you can see EVP again. Develop the employer brand strategy and creative assets. Launch employer brand internally. Gain employee and leadership feedback. Activate employer brand externally. And finally, measure, access, and refine. So this course will be organized around all these steps. We'll provide you with tools, insights, ideas, concepts, and everything you need to build and manage your employer brand. So let's start from audit, the very beginning, as you can see here, of this perfect journey. So let's start from this very simple audit. I'm asking you just to reply yes or no and count the amount of your yes answers. So for brand management, you conducted any surveys, specifically for brand management, not just for something different. Conducted one-on-one meetings with your employees. Share common brand values with the company. Included employees in brainstorming and employer brand management efforts. Yes or no? And your employees regularly attend networking events on the behalf of your company, speaking at conferences, share your content on their own social networks, helping with recruiting and referrals. Yes or no, and you should count your yes answers. Continuing. When communicating with candidates, your job texts are tailored to the specific candidates you would like to hire. So don't have one format fits all approach for all your job text. Are all communications aligned with your brand? Have you built the strongest interviewing team possible? Are you building an external talent pool in line with the requirements of a good culture that you can use when the right role opens up? Your website. Is your website optimized for mobile devices? Do you have a strong mission statement? Have you included original visuals, photos, and videos to showcase your office environment and culture? Are your job posting appropriate for the position? Is the text concise? Can the user find the information in a minimum number of steps? Is the application process seamless? Is your social network integrated? If not, are there links to your social networks? Now about content. Do you have a content strategy that aligns with your employer brand vision? Do you have a budget for content creation? Do you currently have video content on your site? If so, if you have video on your site, if not, you just skip it. You not count yes here. So about the video, are they modern and authentic? Do they tell you a unique story and highlight your values? Do they showcase your office space? Do you have articles and blog posts written by employees? Do you use Google Analytics to assess traffic sources and user behavior? Now, social media. Do you have a dedicated social media manager? Do you use a content plan to plan and schedule your posts? Is your content designed or optimized for different social channels? Like you have something for LinkedIn, something for Facebook, something for Instagram, and so on. Do you share content from other companies? Do you share your employees' content? Do you encourage employees to share company content and job posting on your social channels? Do you measure progress and tracking metrics by channel and partner? Now scoring. 0 to 10. You have some basic knowledge, but there is still room for improvement. If your career page needs improvement, start there. 11, 24. You are making good progress. If you've already created an impressive experience on your site, try focusing on outward-facing content and follow-up. 25 to 35, which is the maximum. Phenomenal. You are following employer branding best practices. My congratulations. Also, talking about your employer brand audit, what you need to do is to start from these two analysis tools. These two tools, actually Pastel and SWOT analysis, are so famous that any strategy is using them before it's being created. It's like a standard approach before creating any strategy, talking about employer brand strategy, charge strategy, even company strategy, business strategy, to use both Pastel and SWOT analysis. So what is Pastel? Pastel is for scanning external environment. It stands for politics, economics, society, technologies, environment, and legislation. What you need to do, you need to analyze what's happening there in every of this direction. What possible impact it could have on your company and what possible impact it could have on your team. And then you include Pastel analysis in external part of SWOT analysis. So based on your past analysis, you populate opportunities and threats for external part of SWOT analysis. And then also you add internal analysis, your company and employer brand strengths, and your company and employer brand weaknesses. This is a starting point, just to show you and probably other team members where you are at the moment, before you start your journey, before you set your objectives, and so on. Metrics of brand success. Actually, there are lots of them. So there could be the acceptance rate of your offer increases, improved employee retention rates. So as you can see, it's not just about the absolute metrics, it's about the trend. Internal surveys confirm that employees feel satisfied and proud of the company as a place to work. Traffic to your website, career page, and related content increases. Increased positive engagement with the company's social channels and increased positive ratings on review sites like Glassdoor and others. Also, there are very interesting research by Martech company, what KPI leaders consider KPIs. They have their research, and I'm including this to your student account. So below this presentation, you will find the attached file. Actually, there are going to be some of them, not just one. Please open the file and read it carefully because it has some details. But the top 11 KPIs for employer brand and talent acquisition leaders are following. First, actually, it's I would say it's like directions because in the first there are several KPIs included, but directions: career site traffic, talent brand, employee content, employee retention, diversity, Glassdoor, like rating, social engagement and followers, talent attraction, feeling hard to hire roles, application volume, hiring, conversion, online reviews, time cost to hire, building passive talent pool, social media impressions, employee advocacy, employee engagement, and employee satisfaction. When you start working with employer brand, you start not just yourself, whatever your role is in the company, but you start with a group of team members. You need to involve several people from different departments to make your employer brand efforts successful. So your first meeting should be attended at a minimum by heads of HR departments, like head of talent acquisition, head of corporate university, head of talent management, head of total rewards, HR director, HR business partners, marketing department, communications, information technology, public relations, and legal departments. Maybe also someone from financial operations department, just to involve them and to combine your efforts. That could eventually form your or most of your employer brand team. This is a very first thing you start from. And the role and responsibility of the employer brand leader: conducts regular research on its target audience and speaks with them, researches the opinions and needs of employees and also talks to them, conducts EVP audits and develops recommendations, manages brand communications both internally and externally, builds and manages an army of brand ambassadors, analyzes brand metrics and develops an action plan, and influences the employee experience by continuously improving it. AI opportunities for the employer brand. So we are in the era of AI and all these AI copilots. So what should we expect from AI? How it can help us? What can AI, artificial intelligence, bring to the table for employer brand and HR marketing? Content creation, like just do it perfectly. Creation of visual elements, strategy development, social media monitoring or listening, adding more personalization, customizing content to the audience. What kind of tools are available for us? What kind of AI tools are available for us? First, it's Martech. Highly recommend you to visit their site and maybe even take in a demo because they have so many different tools. What they have inside or on board: social audition, candidate analysis, KPI planning, written and video content for employees, after-generated expert questions, after job descriptions, career site conversion, job postings, social outreach, onboarding, and more. Then Clickify, on-brand content on demand. Then Paperfly, empower your people with one brand management platform, again based on AI. Then Really Insight, free AI recruitment marketing tool. Strategize, create, track, measure, analyze, report, benchmark. Of course, it's not just free, it has some paid options. And this is a video of the services. Then employer-branded career site builder, Paradox. Very interesting approach. And again, most of them either have demo or video. So I highly recommend you to watch video or to book a demo. Then Sociable. Take employee communication to new heights with Ask AI. Then Sprout Social. Leverage AI to do more with less effort. Then adopt creative cloud features. Also, that could be useful for AI for employer brand marketers. Buffer. Also, they have their AI assistant to work with social media. What AI marketing tools can be applied to an employer brand? And two more. Then tools for brand development. Again, interesting guidelines generator. Even you may develop the logo with the help of AI with this Luca perfect tool. Text development. Writer helps you to write any kind of text, blog post, social media post, anything. Brand monitoring. Employer brand index, link humans. Bassamo, again for monitoring your employer brand on social media. And much, much more. So just a set of other AI tools. And if you want to go deeper and to learn even more tools, you may visit this AI tool master list, like copywriting, design assistance, and so many other directions. Also, of course, all these tools, some of them are free, some of them they have free trial, and some of them are paid. But you always may use ChatGPT, they have free version and paid one, to help yourself with the employer brand management. And here, I'm just showing you some of prompts. We are not at the stage of working with a brand at the moment, so some of these prompts will be useful for next webinars. I'm just showing you what it can do for you in terms of employer brand. So just watch all these prompts, and actually I recommend you to try there on your own and to apply your company that so you even can create images and yeah, and see how it works. But just a demo, we will learn in details how to apply these AI different tools for our employer brand management. Now the homework. So you choose just one, you don't need to accomplish all of them, you do just one of these. Conduct an audit and write the audit we see today, we saw today with these questions, and write 5 recommendations for a company. What specifically needs to be done? Maybe you may choose the second one. You need to complete a pestle analysis for your employer brand, or the third one, complete a SWOT analysis of your employer brand. Then some materials. If you want to read some book, I highly recommend you Brand Mitchington book, or you may read the big and interesting article about different tools, like 75 tools for employer branding. What's next? This is it for employer brand basics. Next time, in our next class, we will be talking about employer brand target audience research. Thank you for your attention. If you are not on our course, I invite you to participate in this course to learn how to build your employer brand in the era of AI, in the era of, I would say, HR marketing, when HR could do a lot of what marketers did previously for us. So let's join our course and continue this education. Thank you for watching. For those who already on our course, I'm waiting for homework. See you soon and bye. Thank you again.